For many gamers, the promise of a new AAA title is often met with the frustration of an incomplete experience. Paying full price for a game that feels like a live service, requiring you to buy DLCs, battle passes, and microtransactions just to feel like you're getting the full story, and this has pretty much become the industry standard. It has conditioned us to expect a constant drip of content rather than a complete, satisfying game at launch. But what if there was another way? 11th Hour Games, the independent studio behind the action RPG Last Epoch, has been widely praised by its community for development and release strategy that directly counters the negative trends seen in AAA industries. Rather than creating a game that feels incomplete at launch and then monetizing every subsequent piece of content, 11th Hour Games has focused on a model built on transparency, community feedback, and a commitment to delivering a complete and satisfying experience. Now, to begin with, a foundation of community engagement has been a central focus of this company from its actual beginnings, because 11th Hour Games is the brainchild of a few dedicated ARPG fans who met on Reddit. From the very beginning, they involved their community in the development process, gathering feedback on everything from game mechanics to the unique trades system. This approach means that new content is often a direct response to what players are asking for, rather than being dictated by a corporate strategy to just maximize revenue. The second thing I can think of that has made this company very successful so far is the early access model done correctly. Now, Last Epoch spent several years in early access, but it was not a pay-for-a-demo situation. Instead, 11th Hour Games used this period to build a stable, content-rich game that players could enjoy while providing invaluable feedback. They consistently released major updates, often referred to as patches or cycles, that added significant new classes, zones, and features. This iterative process allowed them to refine the game, build a dedicated player base, and ensure the 1.0 release was going to be a polished, feature-complete product. The next thing on my mind is how it is a play-first design, because unlike many live service games that prioritized monetization and grind over the playability of the game, Last Epoch's design philosophy has been to create a rewarding and fun gameplay loop. So, for example, a player-friendly economy is something which they created in order to not regulate exactly how all items are being transferred, because you are given two different options. Many players that join the game for the first time don't really quite understand that this is a very open sense way to make it where you can either buy your different weapons or items inside the game, or you can choose to just craft them, because the two paths are either one where you have a marketplace that you sell everything that you make. The second option is that you just get more of a chance to get better weapons or itemizations inside of the game. So either way, everyone is getting equal chances to get the items that they are searching for. Next is this whole cosmetic only monetization, which I am absolutely 100% for. The game's monetization model is focused entirely on these cosmetic items, basically, such as character skins or pet companions. This means there is no pay to win, or a feeling that players need to spend money to progress or have a complete experience, and it definitely levels the playing field for those people who don't have the same amount of time as others to experience and enjoy the game. And finally, you could definitely say that the transparency and consistent content pipeline that the company has been releasing to us is absolutely paramount to how great of a game they've created. Because 11th Hour Games has been lauded as its communication and its consistent delivery of new content. They provide detailed roadmaps and regular updates to the community on their progress. This creates a sense of trust and anticipation, rather than just the frustration of suspicion that often accompanies the content drip of other games that you've seen here in the contemporary times of this game itself. Now, while recent news of 11th Hour Games has been acquired by a larger company called Krafton has, in a way, raised some concerns among the community about the future of this model, the studio's track record to date has been a strong counter-narrative to the negative trends in the wider gaming industry. They've demonstrated that it is very possible to build a successful game and a loyal player base by prioritizing the quality of the product and respecting the consumer, which the 100% stake that Krafton has paid for inside of this game studio for $96 million may or may not change. However, I'm leaning to the fact that since this was done in July, it looks like Last Epoch will continue down that same path and probably will see better cosmetics rather than paid for DLC content. Now, undoubtedly, I would have to say the whole Season 3 outcome for me has been absolutely positive. I went into this season actually a tad bit skeptical because Season 2 had just released probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I didn't quite realize that 11th Hour Games was planning on releasing content at this kind of rate, which I think is an absolute banger of an idea. When I jumped into the game, I thought I was just going to run through the same storyline and there would be some like in-game changes to the echoes and quite possibly new cosmetics or new armor that I'd have to find in order to like change things. But what I stumbled into was a extended storyline, which they have adapted to fit the entire lore of what the whole Last Epoch thing is running on. And it just blew my mind with how much content they actually were able to drop into this game and make it work. So overall, I would say that whole Season 3 launch has been an absolute success for Last Epoch. It's only a shame that, of course, we have Path of Exile 2 coming up here in just a few more days. I would love to have spent more time in Last Epoch, and I definitely will be going back into the game itself and playing once I have kind of dove deep into Path of Exile 2. But all I can say is, for a studio, 11th Hour Games is by far probably one of the best studios that I've seen in the past, in all of my gaming career, and know them to be a very reliable source for us to keep getting more game content in the future. If you have not played this game yet, I'm telling you, it is worth every penny to just buy the thing because it's going to continue on and on and on. Not only that, but it's very player friendly. You don't have to worry about issues like how to build stuff because it is pretty much built into the mechanics of the game to give you all the information right up front so that you know exactly what it is you need to be looking for to be more successful in the game itself. So I give this game a basic 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I would give it a 0.5 reduction is because every 2 hours or so, there is a reason for the server to come down because they're updating and fixing things. I know this isn't a bad thing, but whenever you have limited time and there's a lot of fixes going on once the game launches, it does get kind of annoying because you have other stuff to get around to doing. But at the end of the day, is that really a complaint? Because they are fixing the game as they are launching it, making sure that there are no problems. They're not waiting weeks or days for this problem to like accumulate and make things even worse. So definitely I would say 11th Hour Games has done a great job. What do you guys think? If you've jumped into the game and tried it, please leave some comments below to let me know what kind of activities you've gotten into, what you've liked, what you have disliked, and if you would like to see more Last Epoch content. As always, guys, thank you guys for showing up and have a great day.